Hey, good morning. This is Edna Keep here for Mindset Monday, and we are live from Nashville, Tennessee. And today I have with me a very special guest, Desiree Keep. Say hi, Desiree.
Hi.
And Danny Keep. Say hi, Danny.
Hi.
So they're a little nervous. They're not really sure what to expect here. So today we're going to talk about our mindsets and the relationship and patterns that we get and inherit from our parents. And you guys will recognize that as something that happens to all of us. We hear different things that our parents say, like, do you think money grows on trees? You have to work hard for your money. You have to go to work every day and work 9 to 5 if you ever want to get anywhere in life. You know, all those different things are things that come to us from our parents. And you know what, the sad thing, or maybe not so sad thing, just depending where you are, is we pass that on to our kids. Because you know, this morning I was asking the girls, I said, what do you think about money, or where when I say money, what do you think about it? And Desiree actually says, I don't think about it a lot. And you know, I think that's twofold. One is that she's pretty much been raised in a financially free home. You know, she's only 15, and for at least 10 of those years she's been able to do whatever she wants. There's no limits, as in if they want to take dance classes, they can take 5-10 dance classes. It's like no big deal. And we don't have to worry about the, you know, costume prices and stuff like that. I mean, and like she said, it's not even a thought. We just do it. And so Warren and I were discussing that this morning, saying, you know, they're that much further ahead than we ever were, because we weren't given those same opportunities. So they don't think of money in the same way we do. So I'm going to get Desiree to share one of the quotes that we really like. So she's going to share that with you right now.
Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn.
So that is a good thing too. And you know what? We realize that we don't share a lot of that stuff with our kids. We have just, you know, we're just working on our stuff, we're going on and doing stuff, and we don't give the kids a lot of education on money. And we tease them a lot because they both get money from different jobs and stuff that they've done. And what they've managed to do is they save that money and they get their parents to pay for everything. So Warren and I were kind of laughing about that too. So are they good with money? Well, that's to be determined in a future time. But one thing that we do really notice with them is that they don't think a lot about money, and it's because they've never really had to. Now, as a child, I have to ask you, what were your thoughts? Did you have thoughts about money when you were a young person? You know, when was your first thought about money? When did you realize that you were rich or not? When did you realize that you couldn't have everything that you always thought that you could have? Was it something that you were taught from very, very young? You can't have that. You can't have that. What do you think? Money grows on trees? That sort of thing. So just ask yourself and think about that. Where does that first money mindset come up for you? Danny, what's your thoughts when I ask you about money? What do you think about money?
I don't know.
What are some of your first thoughts about money? Do you ever think that, oh, I don't have enough money, I can't buy this, I can't buy that, or what do you think when it's time to go shopping?
I usually don't think about the money. I just
whatever I want. Whatever I want, I get.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, we're not sure, is that a good thing, is that a bad thing? Who knows? One of the things that I've been studying and reading about is, you know, Wealthy people don't think a lot about money. They just have it. It's always been there. And that's old school money, right? New school money is a little bit different, or new money, I guess is what we say. Some people that have had money for their whole lives, they really don't think about money a lot because it's always been there. They always know that they can get more because they've got an abundance mindset when it comes to money. So one of the things that I want to share with you here . So apart from working hard and making the right investments, one of the most important things you need to have in your quest for financial abundance is the right mindset. Because you can make all the money in the world, but if you don't have an abundance mindset, you're probably not going to keep it. You ever hear of a lottery winner? I think it's been proven, there's studies that the average lottery winner is broke and sometimes even more broke than when they started out. So think about it that way. You don't always want to just win your money. You want to actually grow yourself to be the person that can get the money, but also who can keep the money in one shape or form or another. Mindset's different from knowledge or what you know about things. It has more to do with how you react or what you choose to do with the knowledge than what you actually have. Does that make sense? I know it does to me. So I'm going to get Danny to say the next quote here. Do I have you on there? Can you see yourself good?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the next quote there, Danny?
When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower.
Hey, how's that for a quote? You know what? Doesn't that make sense? If we're not blooming financially, where does that come from? It's not you. It's the environment that you're in. It's the environment you were raised in, and it's an environment that you can change. First of all, by the people that you hang around with, by the stuff that you choose to study, and then the actual actions that you choose to take. Mindset is something that you have to work on. It doesn't just because you learn it, so we learned something new today. Just because we learn it doesn't mean our mindset's changed. We actually have to physically live it. We have to practice thinking differently. So when it comes up and we find ourselves saying to our kids, money doesn't grow on trees, because I still say stuff like that to our kids, I have to stop myself and say, you know what? There's an abundance of money out there. You just have to bring your value to the world so that you can have access to it, right? Okay, let's go on a little more. How come I'm not getting this to work? That's right. Can you make it go? I usually print my notes off ahead because my computer always frustrates me. So there isn't a detailed list of instructions for ensuring achievement and happiness in adulthood, but research has pointed to numerous factors from childhood that can predict success. Our parents are not only responsible for our nurturing, but also some of the thought patterns that we grow up with. We tend to mirror what we see, and that includes patterns with work and relationships with money. How our parents handle and portray money and success will be the main factor in shaping our view of it. As children, people are taught to be content with just enough. We're told we get only the food that we can finish. Now sometimes that might work for you, but you know what? I've known people over the years who were never allowed to just eat what they felt like it. They were made to clean up their plate. And you know what? I've seen some of those people fight with weight issues their life because they never learned that internal feeling of being full because their parents would make them eat. And what would they say? Things like, hey, the kids in Africa are starving. Why don't you just clean up your plate? That's not fair. And really, is that the way we want our kids to think? I just see I've got a few questions on here, so I'm going to just see what we got. Hey, good morning, Amanda. Amanda says, good morning, Danny and Desiree. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Carter. Hey, Carter, thanks for sharing the video. I appreciate that. Carter says, good morning, everyone. Did everyone have a great weekend? Unfortunately, I can't stay on. I have a meeting right away, but look forward to listening to the recording. Great, Carter. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Marja. Good morning, Courtney. Good morning, Chandel. Good morning, Logan. Good morning, Mike. Marja says, I got an allowance and I had to budget it. So I know Marja very well, and I know to this day she budgets You know, she thinks about what things are going to cost, and she loves, loves, loves getting a bargain. Why is that? Because she was taught that, right? Her parents were like that. And Marges comes from I don't know if you'd consider them totally wealthy family, but very well off family. They made good money, and they came from Holland, and they learned how to become wealthy in the new society. So that's awesome. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Jill. Okay, what else do we got here? I'm gonna take my glasses off this time so I can actually read. We are told to get only the amount of money that we need, that we shouldn't have an abundance of money, that we just need enough to get by. We're told to be realistic with our goals. Don't think too big. Don't get too big for your britches. Have you ever heard that before? I know I was told that. This mentality carries on until we get older, when we shape our goals and dreams into manageable ones. The moment we start wanting more money, more out of life, more out of our careers, we feel guilty because we were told when we were younger that that's just greedy to think like that. Why do you need all that stuff? What you should do, well, you know what? Silent your inner police. It's okay to want more out of life. It's absolutely okay to want more out of life. We're built to want more out of life. That's an innate desire that we all have, is to want more out of life. If we have just our regular food on the table, we want dessert. If we don't have food on the table, we want food on the table. So it just compounds from there. And it is okay to want more and work harder to get more. Or not work that hard to get more, whatever comes to you. Lots of people think, oh, if it's too easy for me, or if it's easy to me, it's not a strength. And that's another thing I'd like you to think differently of. If it's easy to you, that doesn't mean it's easy for everyone. So give yourself kudos for stuff that is easy for you, and think of that as a strength, and how can I maximize that? Okay, so there's nothing wrong also with wanting to have passive income even though you already have a job, right? How many of us here want to build a passive income? I know we love the fact that we can be on location in Nashville, Tennessee. We've got lots of things planned, lots of activities planned over our next few days. And we don't have to worry about not having income because we don't have, or because we took vacation. It just comes in automatically from our renters. For some reason, people somehow get the idea that there's a specific age that they should be successful, and a specific time in their life when you're allowed to hope, dream, and work towards success. What do you think about that? Is that something that's holding you back? You're not old enough to be successful? Think about that. Young students who try their hand at investing or a new business venture, for example, can sometimes be labeled too ambitious. Don't be too big for your britches. Just learn to live within your means. You don't need all that money. There's not enough to go around. A middle-aged person or senior citizen trying to do the same things are sometimes told to stop because it's too late for you. Too late, what is that saying? You can't teach an old dog new tricks, meaning it's so ingrained into you, you can't ever change. Not true. You can change. You can decide and change tomorrow. Sometimes it takes a while to change our thought patterns to what we really, really want to do, but you can absolutely change that tomorrow. What you should do, remember that as long as you're living and as long as you're able, then you have the power to change your situation and be successful. Who's the guy from Kentucky Fried Chicken? He was in his 60s, still knocking on doors trying to sell his recipe. And now look, there's Kentucky Fried Chicken franchises on every corner, right? So remember that as long as you're living, you can change. You've got the power to change. And it starts with changing your thoughts. Change your thoughts, change your life. Where do you get that from, Danny? So Danny recently spoke on our stage, and she talked about optimism and why optimism is such a great thing to have in your life. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Danny? Why is optimism so important?
It's important because I don't know how to describe it.
Just think about for yourself. Why is optimism important, and as opposed to pessimism? Say, you talked about that in the little speech that you did, and I know you feel like you need to have your notes in front of you to say it, but you've got that pretty much memorized. Just tell us a little bit about why you think optimism is so important, just even in day-to-day life.
It's important because it keeps you positive, and positivity makes you happy, I guess.
Very true. Good. How about you, Desiree? What's your comment on optimism?
You need to be optimistic to do things and get stuff done and live your life.
Yeah.
You can't be, what's opposite?
Pessimistic.
You can't be pessimistic and then you won't go anywhere.
Right. So what are some of the things that you think about money?
I don't think about money that much, but I think it's important. You need it to do everything, a lot of things. Yeah.
Like even go on holidays, right?
Of course.
But generally, as you were telling us at breakfast, you don't even think about it because mom and dad pay for that, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so what about when you get to be 25 and 30 years old? How do you think you're going to be able to keep living the same lifestyle you are today?
I probably will have to get a job.
Or
a career in real estate.
Or buy a couple apartment buildings, right?
Yeah.
That's a good way to think. Okay, awesome. Do you have anything else you want to share with the audience today? What are some of the things that you aspire to be in the future?
I want to have a fun career where I can do things that I like to do. And I'm not sure what that is yet.
And you know, I think that's a powerful way to think too, you know. When I was a kid, I never thought about having a fun career. It was just like, someday I'm going to get a job and make money. That was the only thing that I ever thought. I didn't think about how much fun I could have at work. I mean, if somebody would have told me that sometime in the future I'd be able to go around and have coffee with people and get paid well, I probably would have never believed them. If somebody would have told me that at some point I'd have tenants putting, you know, $25,000 a month into my bank account by paying off my mortgages, I wouldn't have believed that either. So challenge your beliefs, challenge some of the limiting beliefs that you have, and realize that yes, you can make all those changes and make life different. And I'm just going to see, I've got a couple more comments on here. Hey, good morning, Tyler. Good morning, John. Marja says, awesome girls. Yeah, Marja knows our girls really well. They are awesome girls. Good morning, Connie. So one of the things I'm going to share with you guys is, because we are in Nashville and we actually got a lot going on Tuesday night. So those of you that are in my 90 Day to 5K course, you're going to have special guest hosts tomorrow night to share their knowledge. They're going to go through the information that I usually share, but where the fun part's really going to be is they're going to share some of their experiences as they go through the PowerPoint and talk about some of the stuff that they've learned since they've started just about a year ago, and also give you their perspective on how they think. And then they're going to be there to answer questions live. So, you know, if you ever think like, what could I take and learn from a couple 20-year-olds? Well, you know what? This is a great time to get your chance, because these two young guys are brilliant. You watch them. You think Scott McGilvery's famous? You wait till you see these guys in 10 years. They're going to be all over the place. I just know it. And then on Friday, we're also going to be away, so I'm not going to be live to do Free Coaching Friday, but we're going to have a special guest for you Friday too. I haven't figured out who that's going to be just yet, because I'm going to talk to some of my team members this week. But if you guys have a special person in the group that you would like to hear from, let me know, and I'll see if I can arrange to have them come online and talk to you about or give you some Free Coaching Friday. So fill that in, or shoot me an email or whatever. I will be checking my emails, and so will Chandel while we're away. So we'll get to know who's the most popular person that you want to hear from, and we'll see what we can arrange. So thank you all very, very much for listening. Remember, change your mind, change your life, and we'll talk to you all next Monday. Bye for now.